Greg, you were talking about when I posed the recruiting question about, what that used to look like for Nebraska as a member of the Big 12 going to Texas versus what it looks like now going for a different type of player, going for a second or third level player, let's say. And then we've got Logan asking another question considering Vince Winta. Is that how you pronounce that? And Major Applewhite.
Brian Applewhite.
Brian Applewhite, Major Applewhite, Texas quarterback. Yes, that's where my brain was. If they can make any movement in Texas.
You know what? Anytime you bring in a Texas guy, that's going to help you recruit the state of Texas. And you've already seen him instrumental. They have added 3 players in the transfer portal alone out of the state of Texas that had ties to Brian Applewhite. So I think that definitely helps. And, I don't want to make it sound as bleak as I kind of did earlier when I talk about Nebraska not being able to recruit the state of Texas. It's just harder. Obviously, you're always going to be, looking at the state of Texas because it produces, it's one of the top producing states of football talent out there. So yeah, you don't ever not recruit the state of Texas. My point is it's just harder. The pitch to get a Texas kid to Nebraska is just a little bit harder playing in the Big Ten. Now that might change as Texas goes to the SEC. I think all of a sudden, you might start getting more players out of the state of Texas because, all those schools are recruiting them, and maybe now that the Big 12 doesn't look like such a great option anymore. And you know what? Why not play in the Big 10? It's not that much lower than the SEC. So, if you can't play in the SEC, Big 10 is probably your next choice at this point, especially with what's kind of imploding with the Big 12 that we've seen here. So, yeah, I definitely think it's an advantage to have some Texas guys around, and it doesn't hurt to have Texas kids on your roster, which they do, and they always help out in recruiting Texas kids as well. So, yeah, you're always going to see them get guys out of the state of Texas. We just don't know what type of numbers. Nebraska, since Scott Frost has been here, you kind of see Nebraska recruit the Southeast a little bit more than they do Texas. With Nebraska's coaching ties in South Florida and Georgia, Louisiana, you've kind of seen Nebraska recruit those states a little bit heavier. But that being said, like I said, Brian Applewhite came in here and closed the deal on 3 players out of the state of Texas since he got here. So I like it.